Spec 8-1, Democratic Party. Objections by Eileen Canty to the petition of Stephen M. Appel, member of the Assembly 69th Assembly District. Number of signatures 2,013. Total valid signatures 1,113. Number of signatures required 500. Referred to the board. Additional two objections regarding the witness identification section, which would be not as specified because of the appellate division ruling, fine holding where the witness failed to provide the town or city of residence. The area is not a fatal defect.
For the objector, Jerry Goldfeder.
Good afternoon. I am Ronit D. Appel at 322 West 78th Street, New York, 10024, and I am the attorney for the candidate, Stephen M. Appel. Here's my notice of appearance.
Yes, so I want to address the issue of the witness ID. The statute is very clear in 6-132 that the information of the town or city and county must be included. If you were to adopt Mr. Richmond, presumably it was Mr. Richmond's recommendation, you would be rewriting the statute. He cites to an appellate division third department, way up somewhere, upstate New York, third department decision which says, well, if someone makes a mistake or they leave the information out, assuming they have the rest of the information somewhere on the petition, it's okay. So number one, that's the third department. That's not this administrative body. This administrative body does not have the authority to rewrite the statute. The statute requires the witness identification information. It says shall be included, and the language says, as you know, for this petition to be valid. So for you to adopt that would be to superseding the statute that requires the information. Secondly, assuming for a second that the third department has any relevance to this administrative agency, it only has any kind of effect if the information is already there. So we have, and the information in hundreds and hundreds of signatures throughout this petition is not there. After all, we need town or city for each subscribing witness. There are many subscribing witnesses that are from Flushing, New York. Flushing is not a town or city. From Valley Stream, not a town or city. Forest Hills, not a town or city. Brooklyn, Bronx, not town or cities. So, in other words, number one, you can't do it. You can't change the statute. And number two, that case is not relevant here because the information is not included otherwise. So I would ask you to not accept the recommendation, which is obviously made in good faith based upon counsel's understanding of the third department, but I think is not relevant to the authority that you have, and in any event on the facts of the case in terms of the petition should not be accepted. The entire petition ought to be stricken because on each and every page the information is omitted.
Yes, thank you. With all due respect to Mr. Goldfeder, he's really confusing the issues here. We have a situation where at the bottom here of the petition, the town and city and county were left blank. However, that information on many of the petitions, more than 500, was in fact included in the statement of witness. And there's a long line of cases that says that if that information is included in the statement of witness, it does not matter if it was left out at the bottom of the page. And the clerk's report cited to one case. I can cite several other cases that say the exact same thing. If that information, if the town, the city were included in the actual statement of witness, then it's inconsequential. It makes no difference that it was not included at the bottom of the page. So that's absolutely not a reason to invalidate the petition, and there's strong support for that in the case law.
So I want to say one last thing on this.
Before Mr. Goldfeder.
Yeah.
This board is a ministerial body. We are guided by the decisions of the courts of this state. The appellate divisions in the 3rd and 4th Department have ruled on this issue, the 1st and 2nd haven't. So while not controlling, they are persuasive and they are binding on the Supreme Court, whether it's in New York County or any other counties in the city of New York. That's why the guidance was provided, because the appellate division, at least in one of the cases in this line, leave to appeal was denied by the Court of Appeals, which signals that the Court of Appeals felt that the appellate division got it correctly, and we've adopted that policy for other departments. For example, the curing of defects in page numbering is the seminal case comes out of the 4th Department, and we've been following that for at least now 5 or 6 years. So again, there is no contrary case law in the 1st Department. So, Commissioners, that's why I believe the Manhattan staff properly cited to the case of Curie versus Hostak.
So, as Mr. Richmond knows, a denial of leave to appeal by the Court of Appeals has no precedential value, and he's right. So the Court of Appeals has not ruled on this. 3rd Department, 4th Department have ruled on it. This body is within the 1st Department and 2nd Department. If a judge here in the Supreme Court in Manhattan wants to rewrite the statute, that judge can do that. You cannot. And so even though Mr. Richmond and his staff make as I say, a good faith argument about this, it's just not something the Board of Elections in the City of New York can do.
Did you rule on this yesterday? The specific issue?
Yes.
Yes. I'm falling asleep through this.
Hempstead and Lynn.
Yes, we had the same issue regarding Hempstead and Lynbrook, and we followed the 3rd Department case.
Well, I wasn't here yesterday.
I understand.
If I could just add one more thing,
Yes.
please.
If I may, I just wanted to clarify. You're claiming that Forest Hills, Brooklyn is not a town or city.
It's not.
So what should it say then? New York City, New York?
Well, it
No,
should
it
say,
should have town
that's
and
right,
city
New
at
York
the bottom.
City is the city.
And what's
No, I'm saying in the witness statement, so it should say
It should say New York City.
in the
No, that's
county
actually
of.
not the
Is
issue.
that what you're saying?
No. In the witness ID,
In the
witness
witness
ID, it says town or city.
Right.
So Flushing, New York is neither a town nor a city. Flushing is whatever it is, and New York is a state. Valley Stream,
New York City,
Valley
New York is a
Stream.
city. New York is a city, Mr. Goldfeder, we're in New York.
No.
Flushing is-
But if it's Flushing, New York, it means Flushing, New York State. Let's be honest about this. Valley Stream, New York. Valley Stream is neither a town or city. Same thing with Flushing, same thing with Forest Hills, same things with the Bronx. That's why that information is required. You need a town or city and a county in the witness ID. And it's not there. It's not there.
Yes, there are two separate issues here. One was the issue you're mentioning. There were 402 signatures, witness statements, 402 petitions that were invalidated due to a no or wrong address. But here we're dealing with the issue. The issue that at hand is whether or not the fact that there's the town and city and county were omitted at the bottom of the petition renders the petition invalid. Now there are a lot more than 500 petitions where that information was included. I'm sorry?
Petition signatures.
In the statement of witness. The
Right,
statement of
but you're
witness.
saying that there are more than 500 valid signatures on the petitions where the correct information was listed in the witness statement.
Yes, yes.
Because you were
And-
saying petitions, not signatures, and that's what was throwing me off.
Right, what I'm saying is in the petition, here we're dealing with the statement of witness.
Right, I understand, but you, okay, go ahead.
Yes. And in fact, Mr. Goldfeder himself, in his book titled Modern Election Law,
Now that's not
actually
fair.
his own argument right here and says that in a case situation such as this, where the town and city and county are omitted at the bottom, that's inconsequential, and I can quote right here exactly what it says in the book.
I just want to point out she's reading from an older edition.
Don't buy it.
Is there a motion to?
Accept the motion. Motion to accept the
Second, all in favor? Opposed?